The silence in our Oak Creek home was heavy, the kind of silence that feels like it's pressing against your eardrums. It was 11:30 p.m. on a Tuesday, and the only light in the house came from the designer pendant lamps hanging over the marble kitchen island. I was sitting at the small breakfast nook, a plate of leftover lasagna in front of me. I'd had a long day at the architectural firm, drafting blueprints for a new library in downtown Chicago, and I hadn't eaten since noon. Elena was across the room. She wasn't eating. She hadn't eaten dinner with me in weeks. Instead, she was focused on her luggage, a sleek, midnight blue hard-shell suitcase that cost more than my first car. She was folding a silk cream-colored blouse with the kind of precision a surgeon uses. I took another bite, the fork scraping slightly against the ceramic, and the sound seemed to snap something inside her. She didn't look up, but her hands paused over the silk. "Stop overeating, Mark," she said. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was sharp, like a cold blade. "Honestly, it's just a one-week business trip with my boss, and it's really important for my promotion. I need to know you're disciplined while I'm gone. For both of us. If you can't control your plate, how can I trust you to keep things together here?" I stared at her, a piece of pasta halfway to my mouth. I'm a 6'1" man with a solid build. I've never been described as overweight by anyone except Elena in the last 6 months. Since she started working as the lead marketing strategist for Julian Vane at Sterling and Associates, her standards for everything, my clothes, my hair, and even my appetite had shifted into something unrecognizable. Before we go deeper into this story, take a second and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like, and let us know where you're watching from. I'm curious to know how far these stories travel. Here on Family Secrets and Revenge, we know that sometimes the smallest comments hide the biggest betrayals. The sun hadn't even fully cleared the horizon the next morning when the low growl of an engine vibrated through the driveway. I was in the kitchen, nursing a black coffee. No sugar, no cream, just as Elena had suggested the night before. I looked through the window. It wasn't the usual rideshare vehicle she took to the airport. It was a long black Cadillac Escalade with tinted windows that looked like polished obsidian. A man in a crisp suit stepped out and began walking toward our front door. "Is that Julian's driver?" I asked as Elena walked into the room, looking like $1 million in a tailored charcoal suit. "He's picking up the whole executive team," she said quickly, checking her reflection in the hallway mirror. "Efficiency, Mark. That's how high-level firms operate." "I thought the conference was in New York," I said, remembering the itinerary she'd mentioned weeks ago.